Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. We have a great show lined up for you guys tonight, and we're happy that you guys are here and listening to us again. Or if it happens to be your first time, welcome.
Welcome.
Oh, sure. The other one doesn't say welcome.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
And who do we have around the table tonight?
Well, we have Jamie
and Elisa.
And Josh.
Jamie's had a little sugar, a little much sugar tonight.
Yeah. I ate 1 or 2 dots.
Or half a dozen.
Or 1 or 2 boxes.
Yeah. One of the two. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So what are we talking about tonight?
We are going to talk about probably my favorite place that I've ever investigated. So we are going to talk about Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Woo! Now, is it Sanatorium or Sanatorium?
I have heard it both ways.
So have I.
Lisa.
I've never been. I don't know.
Elisa's pouting because she's never been.
I know all of you guys are going to talk about your fun experiences, and here I am on the side, just happy to be here.
I think the most interesting thing about the hilltop actually is that it wasn't intentionally used or initially used, I should say, for the hospital, for a TB hospital. It actually started out Major Thomas Hayes in 1883 purchased the area. He wanted to put up a school for his children and to attend, and so he built this school and hired Miss Lizzie Lee Harris as the teacher. Now, Miss Harris had a fondness for the author Walter Scott's Waverly novels, and this Waverly has an E, so it's Ley instead of Ly. He named the area Waverly School, and then called it Waverly Hill.
Right on.
Yeah. So if you ever wonder how it got its name,
There it is.
that's how it got its name.
Yep.
In the beginning of the 20th century, Louisville, Kentucky had one of the highest rates of tuberculosis deaths in the United States. The beginnings of the industrialism, as well as geographic makeup, were contributing factors. Nestled in the Ohio Valley, Louisville doesn't get proper amount of fresh airflow. In an attempt to contain the disease, a board of tuberculosis hospital was established in 1906. Interesting enough, in order to actually pay for that, there was an act of legislation which authorized the city's first class to levy a tax for purpose of establishing hospitals and clinics. Now, this tax was half a cent on every $100 worth of taxable property.
Half a cent?
Half a cent for every $100. So, which probably back then wasn't a lot of money.
Well, yeah. It's never a lot of money.
No.
Where are you going to get half a cent?
Well, you just cut a penny in half. Just cut a couple of them.
That works.
It does. It works great. It actually soon became evident that there was an urgent need for additional accommodations as the hospital and the outgrowth of the original buildings. So they issued a bond for $1 million in 1923.
Because they were going to need it.
They were definitely going to need it. And that is quite a bit of cash. Even today, actually, I'd say $1 million is still quite a bit.
Yeah, well, especially back then.
Now it'll buy you a 4,000 square foot house if you're lucky.
A tank of gas.
A tank of gas.
But only one or the other.
You can't have both.
You cannot have both. So the original hospital was built in around 1908, and it finished construction in about 1910. It was a 2-story wooden administration building, as well as 2 connected open-air pavilions on each side, each housing 20 male and 20 female patients, and it was built for the grand total sum of $25,000.
Yeah, and they had to keep it open because tuberculosis was airborne, right? So they were like, okay, well, let's keep you outside. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is. And we're just going to have you breathe fresh air all the time.
Yeah. And because there was no actual treatment for it other than fresh air, there was no therapeutics, no drugs invented for it at that time. So they had to do something. And so that's the only thing they could think of,
Yep.
which, didn't actually do a lot because there was a rapid increase in tuberculosis cases. And soon that capacity was overrun. And that's why they got the $1 million bond to build the new hospital. They built a 5-story brick and concrete sanatorium in March of 1924.
And this sucker was 180,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Huge.
And it had a capacity of 400 people.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it was considered a city all in and of itself. So
Self-sustaining, yeah.
Self-sustaining, yeah.
Had its own zip code, had its own post office, water treatment facility, grew its own fruits and vegetables. Yep. Raised its own meat for slaughter.
Mhm.
But they kind of
cool.
They kind of had to, though, because like at that point in time, because tuberculosis was so contagious and there was no real cure for it. It's like, hey, once you went there, you either went home walking or you didn't go home at all.
Well, they even said like, if you're going to work here, if you're going to be here, you're going to live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't want you leaving.
Nope.
No, because the patients are confined there, but if the staff leaves and brings it somewhere else,
takes it out. Yeah.
It further spreads it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the saying was once you went to Waverly Hills, you became a permanent resident on the hill.
Yeah.
Which would be very tough, I think, for the people, the doctors and the nurses and the staff that work there, because it's like
you're giving up your family, you're giving up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it started in we're talking 1908, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, TB didn't get eradicated from Louisville until 1965.
Quite a while.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're giving up 60 years.
Oh my.
Well, at that point, they didn't even know.
No, they had no idea. So it's like, here you go in 1924. Like,
I wonder what they would do if you're like, I'm quitting. Like
throw you in jail.
Like what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be something. Wouldn't
I wonder if they would make him like quarantine for a while before they'd let him back out.
That's a good question. I wonder
They
what
might.
they do.
I don't know. With all my reading stuff, I never heard of anybody quitting or leaving or.
Yeah, I haven't heard either. I didn't see anything about that. When the new building was erected at the cost of $3,625 a bed. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money in 1924.
Why so much?
For a bed?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because it's the cost, because they can only hold 400 people, right? Or this news article says 435 beds. So that puts it.
So that's just their cost of like the bed and their cost of treatment and living and.
Well, it's the cost of the building per unit of people that you can house.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, because the place is absolutely enormous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got laundry facilities and all of this other stuff that, obviously cafeterias and stuff that take up room.
Right.
But you can't put a bed there.
Right.
Right.
And these rooms don't have very much in there. I mean, you can get a bed in there and that's not much. That's about it.
I mean, I just say from photos because, I've never been.
I think I've heard you say that once or twice.
I'm a bit bitter. It's fine.
I think there's some animosity here. Each bed is equipped with a radio, a phone, bell signal, and electric light socket. There are no wards. The rooms have a capacity for 2 patients. I don't know where. With the sleeping porch more than 600 feet long, to which all of the rooms on the south side of the building open. And that was the thing, is all the building, the patients' rooms were on the south side of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Anything on the opposite side were like bathrooms and like activity rooms and stuff like that. So they would, in that effort to get that air for people, they just roll them out onto the
Which
porch.
would honestly be so nice. I mean, let's be real. If you're going to be stuck in a bed, how nice would it be to be rolled out, get fresh air, and listen to the birds and,
feel the breeze.
Maybe chat across the way to some other people.
Yeah.
You know, like that would be much better, I think, than just being, even nowadays, just being stuck in a hospital room all by yourself with a closed door and a TV.
And just the
Not
beep of
doing
your
it.
heart monitor going.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would take going outside and getting some fresh air way more than being stuck in.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about isolation, right? So Dr. Oscar Miller said the object of our hospital is principally to stamp out and control pulmonary tuberculosis. We feel that to make headway against an advanced open case, the isolation of the patient by moving the focus of infection from the home to the hospital is of prime importance. If the children in the family have been exposed to the disease, we bring them here where we have the facilities for observation and treatment. And that's why if you see in some of the pictures up on the top, you see these kids playing around this like playground on the roof of this building.
Yeah. They have a swing set and their toys and
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really cool. But if we found out if you were a child patient there, they didn't have an actual children's wing. You were just in general population, which could be kind of scary for, a 10-year-old who's now sitting next to a 65-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they did have some various types of treatments that they used. I think some of them sound super barbaric.
Well, they are because they didn't know how to treat it.
They didn't.
And so at this point, they were just trying anything that came to mind, really.
Yeah.
That they thought would give some results
Yeah.
in healing. So,
Yeah. And so one of the things they would do is they'd remove ribs, try to give some extra room.
Because they thought it might help them be able to breathe, but ultimately, I don't think that really helped.
No.
They would try to inflate balloons inside the lungs.
Oh.
That actually ended up killing more people than it helped.
Yeah.
One that actually seemed to work, and they said that they were able to reduce a patient's stay from 200 days to 90 by collapsing the lungs.
Like both lungs or just a single lung?
Both.
So
Partially or fully collapsing the lungs. And so what that would do, crazy enough, it would make them harder to breathe using their whole lung and giving their lungs a chance to heal.
Wow.
Yeah. And then those who had tuberculosis of like the gut, they would use, I want to say X-ray, but that's not it. Ultraviolet light is what they would try to use to heal the gut.
they needed some Activia.
Yeah, right? I don't know why they're just not eating yogurt. I mean, seriously. Like 1920, they should have got yogurt.
Well, and they did like electroshock therapy too.
Wasn't that for TB of the brain?
Yeah. That had less effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
Sad.
I mean, because that was just popular back then to do.
Yeah. Are you mental? Yep. Shock your brain.
Bing.
It seems very barbaric, the things that they did, that they tried.
So that we don't live back then.
Right?
Thank goodness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think because having us gone through our own pandemic now, and kind of way it's similar to TB, right? Airborne, easily contagious, It's interesting that they didn't do that type of isolation. I'm glad they didn't. Like, hey, look, you got COVID. You get to go to a sanitarium now.
No, I know. Instead, you can just sit in your own bed and be stuck in your house for a week.
Yeah.
Right.
Darn.
Small
Right?
price to pay. Yeah.
But
Small price.
But if you think about it, like the types of abilities we have today versus then, right? Like we have better running water, better, air quality in our homes than I'm sure they had.
Mm-hmm. We've got like stuff for fevers and,
Yeah. And we have Netflix.
right.
Well,
Which
it
is-
just doesn't stop at Netflix. I mean, come on.
No.
There's like 1 billion streaming services. It feels like
Yeah, that's
out there.
true. That's true. But yeah, this compound though it got huge. Like you said, it was a farm, right? They had other outside buildings too. They had other hospitals outside. They had some segregation hospital parts. They had an actual children's hospital on the outside. It was a smaller wooden building. I think all in total, I think it was about 16, buildings total on that property.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a huge amount.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat to see how much hasn't changed, but how much has changed. Like most of those buildings are gone now.
Mhm. They still have the big main building.
Yeah.
But
And they have what's called the bunkhouse,
Yes, the bunkhouse.
where you can spend the night.
that's what I'm talking about.
Ain't sleeping if I go there.
No. Nobody sleeps there.
I'd have to
No.
be there for a couple of days in order for me to sleep.
Exactly.
Not because I couldn't, just because I wouldn't want to.
Right. I wouldn't want to either.
Well,
I'd be going over that whole place until I dropped.
Yep.
Who would want to?
So and they have a place in there called a body chute,
Yes.
Or also known as the death tunnel.
the death tunnel,
Yep.
Neither one of them sounds pleasant.
right?
Oh no.
So it's a tunnel that's 500 feet long, where they would put the bodies of these people who had passed away down these body chutes after they died. So can you imagine that job?
Yeah. No. I mean, it used to be used for supplies.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a pulley system.
Yeah, and then they use the police to fit the caskets out.
Yep.
So there is a morgue in Waverly, but they didn't do autopsies on everybody. So they only did autopsies on those who they suspected not dying of tuberculosis. And then they do an autopsy. And then they go down the body chute.
So how many people did they say died in the sanatorium from tuberculosis or whatever? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Well,
I think it depends on whether you want to believe the mythological numbers or the more likely real numbers.
It can range anywhere from, we've read from like 6,000 to 50,000+ people that have passed away
yeah.
Yeah.
there. And realistically, it's not even close to 50.
No. So in Louisville, at the time during the height of the epidemic or pandemic, they lost 2,000 people to tuberculosis in 1 year. So if you're looking at that as a number, right, and knowing that people probably died in their homes as well, then there's no way it could be 50,000 people. But they did say that at one point in time they were losing about one person an hour.
Oh, wow.
So
Scary.
I mean,
Well,
that could put you at several hundred in a month pretty quick.
Mhm.
well, and I just kind of calculated it.
Yeah.
And I did 2,000 divided by 365, and it was 5. So an average of 5 a day would die.
Oh my. Well, and this is part of the reason that they started taking the bodies out through the body chute.
Yeah.
Was so that the other patients didn't see just how many bodies were going out and how many people were dying of it. Because can you imagine that, sitting there, seeing that, and then
Day after day after day.
thinking,
I'm next.
I'm next?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it had to have been easier for them to not necessarily get rid of the bodies, but to transport them from one place to another.
Yeah, that too. And I think they would, once they would cart them down there, wouldn't they just kind of load them up
Yeah, they'd
into
have
like a truck or something back
hearses.
down there?
they'd load them up in the hearse, and the hearse would take them to the funeral homes.
How many in a hearse? Because a hearse typically don't hold.
There was a line of hearses ready to go.
There would have to be some
Yeah.
some type of system, because it'd be one after the other,
Yeah,
making trips all day long.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, and it would have been enough, right? Like
Yeah.
even if it was, I mean, you're saying 5 a day, right? So I mean, that's still quite a few, and that sometimes it probably even more than that.
I was going
less
to say
than
that's
that.
just average. So
Right.
some days it'd be more, some days it'd be less.
Yeah. And so you can imagine there'd be quite a few people, but if you lost one an hour, that's probably 24 in a day,
Yeah.
roughly. That's still a lot, but that's still, 24 hearses. But that would be unnerving if you're sitting out in your bed facing the south, which there are 2 entrances to the top of that hill, at least today,
Mm-hmm.
and both of them come from the south. So you could just watch.
Impending doom.
Yeah, you just watch the vehicles go, but the body chute is tucked away at such an angle that you can't see it,
No.
Which is good.
which is good. Yeah. And so I think that gives people that solace that they know it's,
See, that's why I wonder if they'd have a cemetery, because it would be so much easier just to say, all right, let's just have them all buried here. It'd be so much easier than having to cart these bodies all around everywhere.
Well, and you'd think if it had like its own zip code and and all this that and own post office, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it have its own cemetery?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is other sanatoriums, they had incinerators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
But with this being airborne, I don't know if they would,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, at the time, it was located 10 miles out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
It's not anymore.
Right.
So it was out and away from everybody. So I think that helped in that avenue. But I think the process of burning bodies and stuff like that is a little morbid if for disease control in that avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, yeah. It wasn't until 1943 that they actually produced the antibiotic, streptomic.
Sure.
Yeah. I have no idea. And that's how they were able to finally combat tuberculosis. However, it wasn't until 1949 when it was readily available to Waverly Hills.
Oh, wow. So it took a little bit.
Took a little bit, yeah.
You would think that they would try to get it there as quick as they could because that's a pretty huge place.
Yeah.
It was one of many, though, in the country.
That's true. I mean, it was everywhere. So
yeah. Every state, I think, had a sanitarium, or at least one of them, trying to, isolate the people from with tuberculosis away, keep them safe.
Well, and if you think about it, it's like they probably didn't have the ability to mass produce like we do now.
Right.
Oh, no, most likely not.
Yeah. So it would have been much harder to get this produced and going.
Yeah. With this treatment, obviously, people were more outpatient. Things were a lot better. The population of Waverly slowly began to decrease. And then it finally closed its doors in June of 1961. Although it didn't stay closed for long. It only stayed closed for about a year. So in 1962, it reopened as the Woodhaven Geriatric Center, a nursing home.
Repurpose, reuse.
Yes. Primarily treating aging patients with various stages of dementia and mobility limits, which there's a lot of stairs in that place.
Well, see, and it makes me wonder how many of those people were in there for tuberculosis. And they just had to go back.
Oh, that'd be awful.
Right?
That's a horrible thought.
Yeah, because, the first time it's like, hey, I'm going to get out because I get better.
Yeah.
And the next time it's like,
I'm going in and I'm not coming out.
Yeah.
No. They also housed the severely mentally handicapped. It was closed by the state of Kentucky in 1982 after a grand jury inspection found several patient abuses and degrading state of the facilities.
Which is super sad. But you see that a lot.
A lot.
You do. And at that point in time, they were actually using a lot of electroshock therapy.
Which so sad.
Yeah. The tuberculosis stuff was bad, but I think this is
worse.
I think this is the dark stain that sits on the building. Because it's like you have people just being abused. I mean, it's just awful.
And people that are innocent that have no idea.
Yeah.
Or, should be given extra care, not taken advantage of.
Right.
Exactly. The following year, most of the land which the buildings was auctioned off. The main hospital building, several remaining facilities, as well as 40 acres were purchased by Simpsonville developer J. Clifford Todd at the cost of $3,005,000. His plan was to turn the hospital building into a minimum security prison for the state. However, massive protests surrounding the area, the plan was dropped. And another of Todd's plans was to refurbish the building into apartments. This also fell through due to lack of funding.
I can't imagine it as apartments. Not that it's not spacious enough, mind you, but I mean, could you imagine that being apartments?
There'd be tiny apartments.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless they knock down the wall between two rooms.
Yeah, that's a pretty thick concrete wall, though.
It would not impossible to do, though.
No.
But structurally, would it be sound? If you did
it would
that.
take a lot. It would definitely take a lot.
I think the prison made the most sense, actually. Minimum security prison made the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But, I mean, how awful. Here's $3 million, just bought the property. Oh, and I can't do anything with it now.
Nope.
That would suck.
That would awfully suck. So, in 1996, Robert Obelhaski bought Waverly Hills, and he intended to build the world's tallest statue of Jesus.
Yeah.
150 feet tall.
Wow.
which, if you look at, it was modeled after the one in Rio de Janeiro,
Mm-hmm.
and that one's 120 feet tall
So he's going to be by 30 feet.
by 30 feet.
Nice. So what happened?
Well, the plan, it was going to cost $4 million to build a statue. And then it was going to cost another $8 million and more to convert the Sanatorium into a chapel, theater, and gift shop. They raised a grand total of $3,000 in funds.
Oh,
Because that's enough.
I think
So
you're
they
a little
need-
short there.
Yeah, so they needed $12 million. They got $3,000. So that didn't work either.
Take the money and run.
So the project was canceled in 1997. And so next several years, the main building, as well as the surrounding structures, fell into a state of abandonment. After his efforts failed, Waverly Hills was sold to the current owners, Tina and Charlie. And they have established a historical society to raise funds to help restore the interior of the Sanatorium. And they offer tours and they have a haunted house and all sorts of fun stuff there.
Yeah, the haunted house is only around Halloween, though.
Yeah. And they do like a haunted light or a Christmas light display on the outside of the building during Christmas time.
Yep.
Like you pull up in your car into the dirt lot.
Just watch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are planning on turning it into a bed and breakfast.
Last we heard.
I heard that failed.
They're on their way.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So there's a conference room now on the main floor. That's actually quite nice.
Yes.
And it's like 4 doors down from the morgue and the electroshock therapy room.
Oh, sounds appropriate.
Yeah. That's where I'd want to have my business conference.
So it took them almost 2 years to get that part done. It's going slow. The process is very slow to restore that building. They're doing it a little bit at a time, but their plans isn't to turn the whole building into a bed and breakfast. Only some rooms on the first and second floor. So they want to do some first and second floor renovations and then leave the rest of the building as it is.
But that's if they're still going ahead with that. Because that was a few years ago that was kind of
3, yeah.
talked about.
And that's going to be, I mean, if you think about it, the range of the type of people that will want to stay there isn't large.
No.
No, not overall, I don't think.
And
no.
so I think it'd be exciting at first, once it first opens, right? They'll get the hustle and bustle going. But then when that kind of fades off and it's been open for a while, it's going to be hard to keep going.
Yeah.
Because there's just there's not a large group of people that will want to stay in a haunted place.
Right.
Probably not. But I think that the appeal to it, though, is to, two of the paranormal investigation groups, though,
Right.
is that, hey, I can go investigate
And spend the night.
and spend the night in a nice bed.
Yeah.
And not, have lead paint peeling off the walls
Yeah.
like there is in the upper floors.
Mhm, that will be a bonus.
Spiders and
Yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff going on.
yeah.
So let's get to the fun part. What are some of the known hauntings?
Some of the known hauntings.
Some of the known
First, let's talk about what happened in room 502 before it became haunted.
Oh, before it came haunted. Yes, let's talk about 502. The notorious room 502, which to me honestly looks like a nurse's station.
Yeah, so what I read was, because I haven't been there, there was a nurse that was
You don't say.
there was a nurse that was found dead in room 502 in 1928. She had committed suicide by hanging herself from the light fixture. She was 29 years old at the time of her death, unmarried and pregnant. Her depression over the situation led her to take her own life. It's unknown how long she may have been hanging in this room before her body was discovered, but that wouldn't be the only tragedy that occurred in room 502. In 1932, another nurse who worked in the same room, she jumped from the roof patio and plunged several stories to her death. No one seems to know why she would have done this, but many have speculated that she was actually pushed over the edge. But there's no records to indicate this, but rumors that people continue to talk about.
Yeah, neither one of those deaths can be confirmed.
No.
So the nurse who allegedly hung herself, they say her name was Mary Hildebrand.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a site that has all of the list of deaths that they can attribute to Waverly and Woodhaven,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the staff that worked there. And there is no Mary Hildebrand that worked in the building.
So it makes you wonder, like, how they got that name and.
Right. Interesting enough, though, there was a Cora Hildebrand who died
Oh,
in 1928.
was she a nurse?
She was a patient.
Hmm.
So,
But how well did they keep records? I mean,
oh, not well.
that's my whole point, though.
Yeah.
What if there was a Nurse Mary there?
Well, and especially if
And
there's
it's very
one
possible.
that where she hung herself,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know, they're not going to want, especially back then when they can get away with it
Right.
and not have records on that, because they're not going to want that to be shown
Right.
that someone is committing suicide in their
Right.
building that works there.
Right.
And it's a self-contained facility with its own post office, which means you're not going to have press going in there, so they get to control the media going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So the report that we heard,
Well, there's other variations,
Right.
to this,
right, and so the report that we heard is that she didn't hang herself in 502.
Mm-hmm.
She hung herself outside of 502, right in front of the elevators.
Mhm.
Oh,
And it was the
Maintenance.
maintenance guy who came in the morning, who went up to the 5th floor, that found her hanging.
Yes.
see, but why would you do that in a place where everyone is going to see you
Well, here's the other thing,
or
though.
catch you before you actually finish?
Well,
Right.
it was reported that, okay, she was pregnant. It
Yeah.
was reported that she was having an affair with one of the surgeons there at Waverly.
Mm-hmm.
She got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was, you know, she wasn't married. So back in that day, it was very,
Scandalous.
yeah, it's very
Mhm.
scandalous. So her doctor lover tried to perform an abortion on her.
And it failed, right?
And it failed. He botched it. She died. And so it's said that him and like an orderly there, like, hung her in the hall outside of 502 in front of the elevators to make it look like she hung herself out of despair. Because it was also reported that in her abdomen area, she was bleeding.
Oh,
If she hung herself on her own accord, why was she bleeding from her abdomen?
and that's not going to be in records.
It's not going to be in
No.
records.
That is not going to be.
Well, and then the other story that, you know, when he removed the baby,
Mhm.
you know, and she died, that the baby was thrown down the
Well,
well.
yeah. And in another report, the baby wasn't thrown down the well; it was just cast into a room adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
So,
Yeah, so there's just all these variations. And
Yeah.
with record keeping being spotty at best, who knows?
well, yeah, and everything was kept with paper, right? Everything was kept on paper.
Mhm.
You know, like the sanitarium went out, and then, you know, it didn't, you know, and then it was, you know, abandoned for a year, and then it was taken over by Woodhaven. So, like, who knows how the record transfers were,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and, you know, again, are they going to report accurately on things that are scandalous?
Well, and here's the thing. So when I had my first kid, they screwed up on not putting sugar in my water, and I'm hypoglycemic, and so in my IV. So I end up seizing
Mm-hmm.
right after a C-section and having some complications, and none of that is in any records.
Ah, see?
None
Yeah.
of that. So, I mean, it comes to tell you that even now,
Mm-hmm.
so you can imagine what they could get away with then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
Well,
I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
And there's no computers, right? So,
Right.
like, and that's the same thing with the deaths, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how accurate are the death recordings? Well, it's only as accurate as they can find records for it.
Well, and if it includes a doctor and has other people in the mix, they're not going to want to put that
No
information out there.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
You know, because obviously it's a self-contained facility.
Yeah.
She got pregnant by somebody. There's only a handful of males it could be.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like something bad is going on. There was another in the report of the gal throwing herself off the the roof.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's no accidental way to do it. Like the walls on top of that roof are like 4 feet tall.
She would have had to have climbed up.
She would have had to
there.
have climbed up to jump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, it was definitely intentional, whether it was suicide or whether it was
Her getting pushed.
her getting pushed. That's, debatable at that point in time.
Right.
So let's talk about some of the known hauntings that we have in Waverly.
Well, there's Timmy as a little boy up on the 3rd floor.
And he likes to roll balls back and forth with you.
Yep.
He does.
There's actually, I think, a picture of Timmy available online somewhere.
I don't know. We'll have to see if we can look that up and post it.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever try that when you went?
We did. In fact, that ball right there on that shelf. We have this neon ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all these different colors. When we went back in 2019, we took that ball and we tried that.
Did it work?
It did not.
Oh, that
It did not.
stinks.
It did not.
And just so everyone out there is aware, it is very uncommon to actually have things like that really happen.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not a super common experience. And so when it does happen, it's one of those things where it just catches you off guard and you probably aren't even recording it.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if we try this experiment again, I think we'll try to use a lighter, like a ping pong ball or something.
Right.
A little
Something
bit
lighter and
See,
smaller. Yeah.
I've had one incident where I was doing a home investigation and we put one of those little ping pong balls on top of a really heavy iron stove, like a cast iron stove.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, that thing's not going anywhere, right? And during the middle of our investigation, we were asking questions and it just started spinning, making these big swirls, So
That's cool.
that's one time
Yeah.
out of, I don't know how many times I've tried, right? So not a super common thing to actually work out.
Oh,
No.
no. Uh-uh.
No. Also on floor 3, there's the reports of the creeper.
So for those of you that watch Ghost Adventures, Zach Baggins actually, and this is how I first heard about the creeper as well,
Yeah.
was when Ghost Adventures had went there years ago. So
Yeah. And it's supposed to be a shadow figure that kind of like lurks in the corners, looks around, like kind of hides out away.
walks like a crab kind of sideways and can go up walls and on ceilings.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the creeper.
Yeah. That would be absolutely terrifying.
It would be.
That's like a type 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. And you got to think though too, like with all of that that's gone on in that building, you got to figure there's at least one type 3 in that building.
At least.
So there's also a story of a little girl who likes to run up and down the 3rd floor. So there seems like a lot of kid activity on floor 3.
I could
Mhm.
see that though. I mean,
Yeah.
there were kids there.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's one of a man in a white coat who's seen walking into the kitchen, and then the smell of cooking food that sometimes goes through the room.
Ooh, hey, that's cool.
I wouldn't mind that one.
Yeah, I've been in the kitchen area. Didn't get any of that fun smells.
Mm-mm.
That would have been great. Okay, so some of the other reports have been like up on floor 5, seeing shadow people, kids running, and kind of those type of apparitions. I think also Ghost Adventures had, that was on floor 2 where they had the disembodied legs run across the hallway.
Did they have that?
Caught it on thermal imaging.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that, where it was just the
Huh.
legs
Yeah.
and no like torso
I had
or upper
forgotten
body.
about that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I mean, that would be crazy to see.
Wouldn't that be nuts?
I mean, that's what you see in like little kids'
Right.
scary movies or like in their little books.
But that's the same thing that Jamie saw up on 5.
Oh,
From the knees down. It was like the legs from the knees down. It was
Weird.
like bare feet, like a little kid. Just from left to right. Across
like
the top
little
of floor
kid
5.
legs.
Little kid legs.
Huh.
from the knees down.
Yeah.
Weird. Well, that's kind of validating.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And that was our first trip there.
Yeah.
I seen that. So
Your first trip.
There's some animosity over there. What is going on? And of course, people have heard like disembodied voices.
Door slamming.
Yeah, strange lights appearing, and obviously shadow figures, ghostly apparitions.
So what about you guys? Tell us some of your experiences.
We've caught nothing.
Whatever.
Liar.
I don't believe you.
Well, let's start with the first year we went. So the first year we went was in 2017.
Yeah.
And this was Josh's first really ghost investigation
ever. Really.
ever. And he started off with, I had to talk him into it. So they were doing a public event there, and we bought our tickets, and we bought our plane tickets, and we flew down there. And of course, we got to meet some, people from the ghost hunting world.
Dustin Perry.
Yep. Steve Gonzalez, John Zaffis, Josh Gates was there too.
Yep.
So that was cool. But yeah, I mean, our first time driving up to the building, I mean, I couldn't wait to get in there, and Josh was a bit apprehensive. But as we were standing out there, kind of getting cordoned off into groups, this group's on floor 5, and we ended up being down on the first floor with Steve Gonzalez first.
Yep.
But as we're standing in there outside, getting kind of by that concrete gargoyle that's down there,
Yeah.
and I look up, and about on the 3rd floor, it looks like a kid is looking out and down at us.
Like peeking out over the edge?
Yes, like peeking out over the edge. And I look up and I'm like, ugh. And then it goes back really fast. And I got all excited. And I'm like, let me in. So, but.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be a good night when it starts off like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was, I was already ready. But Josh was a little more apprehensive.
I was terrified.
You baby. I'm just kidding.
Mainly, to be honest, it was mainly being scared of the dark.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point in time in 2017, and it is 2022 right now, I was still scared of the dark.
Yeah.
Because of live people or dead people?
The unknown. So movies mainly. It wasn't nothing to do with ghosts at that point in time. It was just, you watch enough scary movies when you're 5 years old, you're going to be, I guess, just terrified of the dark.
Where was your mother?
Hey, I was
I don't
scared of the
know.
dark too until I started ghost hunting. I really was.
Yeah.
Well, that's what actually stopped me
Yeah.
from being scared of the dark
Mhm.
is that it's like, hey, when you sit in it long enough,
Yeah.
you become, I guess, desensitized in the sense, and realize that not everything's going to jump out at you and go boo.
Well, the thing is,
Exactly.
I think the more you know, the more you understand, the less you're afraid. The less afraid you are. Oh my word!
Yeah,
So the more knowledge is power.
yeah,
It is.
Right.
It really is.
yeah. And so when we were up on 5, in fact, actually, a lot of our experiences happened on floor 5 that
Mhm.
first year that we were there. And we were walking from the critical care wing over to the children's wing, which is where they kept the little kids. And we had this guide with us. And so we were walking, 3 abreast, and there's some space in between Jamie and I. And I look over just out of the corner of my eye, and there's a man walking with us, just strolling along.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he look like?
I didn't see him.
He was about probably 5'11",
Mm-hmm.
short hair,
Skinny.
skinnier, probably 40s, 50s, somewhere in there.
What was he dressed in?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't see him. I was
Yeah.
totally oblivious. So,
Because you were, at that point in time, you were talking with the lady.
yeah, I was talking with the guide gal. So,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's just one of those things you look over and you're like, oh, cool.
well, and I mean, this was our first really big investigation. And so we walk in with a digital recorder and a flashlight apiece, and that's it.
Mhm.
We
That's
had
it.
nothing.
We had no expectations in getting anything or capturing anything. We were just thrilled to be there.
Yeah.
And really, honestly, that's the best way to go into any investigation
Yeah.
because if you get your hopes up,
Mhm.
you're going to be let down.
You're going to be
Yeah.
disappointed.
Odds are you're going to be let down.
Yeah.
But it wasn't long after that you actually blinded Dustin Perry.
Yeah.
This is like
did.
rule number 1 in ghost hunting.
It was, but see, here's the thing though. It's like,
I wasn't holding my flashlight up at him or nothing. It's just, I was doing like a Facebook Live, and he was going to say hi to my family, because there was a lot of my family on my dad's side that wanted to be there and wasn't able to. And so I promised him I'd do some live stuff so that they could see. And so I said, I'm going to put this, because he's tall. Dustin Perry's tall.
Yeah, he is tall.
And I'm not so tall. And so I'm like, I'm just going to hold my flashlight. I wasn't going to like bring it up towards his face. I was just going to bring it up like this with it pointing down. And as I'm bringing it up, it kind of slipped in my hand a little bit. And wow, right in his face. He was like, whoa. And, years later, when we saw him in Vegas this last December, he still remembers that.
yeah, which is pretty good if you figure it was 5 years ago and he still remembers us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gave him something to remember.
Yeah,
I sure did. I blinded him. So, yeah. But, I mean, just going in with just being happy to be there, and just going in with a digital recorder and a flashlight. We didn't expect to come out with
anything.
But we did.
Yeah, we got a lot, actually.
In the way of EVPs.
Yeah.
We did get quite a few. I was kind of shocked.
Yeah. And there's a couple that I think there's one that is kind of sad.
So EVPs real quick.
Our electronic voice phenomenon.
Yes.
And essentially it's a voice that's recorded on your digital recorder or your recording device that you didn't hear with your own ears.
Mm-hmm.
And so we, usually when you do an EVP session, what you'll do is you'll ask a question, and then you'll wait a few seconds, let the spirits respond. That gives us a nice blank space. Then you ask another one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the enjoyment of listening back through hours of this audio, you will generally hear nothing.
Yes. But sometimes you'll get a response. And so we were up on, and I think it was the 3rd floor, actually. And we had walked into this one the conference room or open room behind where the patients' rooms were, right? And I put my back against the wall and I kind of sat down, and I was like, are there any children here with us? And there's this little weak voice that comes through and says, yes. Mm-hmm.
That you didn't hear with your ears.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
We didn't hear with our ears.
Did you hear any of the EVPs you got that night with your ears?
None. No disembodied voices at all.
Not a one.
Not a one. So we got to see shadow figures, apparitions, and, just lots of heaviness in feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that heaviness is generally, an evil entity that you feel, and it makes the room feel heavy, or it's a place that's had really sad things happen, a lot of sadness that's happened, or despair, or,
Which
whatever.
would make sense.
And you get that heavy feeling too. But I would say most of the time it's a negative entity that creates that pressure that you feel, that heaviness when you walk into a room. You're like, ugh,
Yeah.
This happened when you got on the property.
ugh.
Like it was just, and I think a lot of it has to just do with all of the despair, the death,
Yes.
there's
a lot that happened there.
Yeah. And if you think about the history, right, not only just the TB stuff, but also the geriatric care and the abuse and all that stuff, like that just has to have been absorbed into those concrete walls.
Oh, I'm sure. Just kind of imprinted there
Yeah.
as residual.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
So we did end up getting a few better EVPs. I would say I'm going to save the best one for last. But I do remember we went down the death tunnel, and this was towards the end of the night, where a lot of the people that just go to say I was on a ghost hunt, they clear out very early. The ones that are left are the diehard, ghost hunters and ghost investigators and whatnot. So there was these two older women, and one of them had dowsing rods. Now, I had never really seen dowsing rods in use. And so I said, hey, do you mind if we tag along And I said, I'd just like to kind of observe you using these rods and just kind of see what it's about. Oh, yeah, no problem. Come along. So we follow these two gals down. We go to the bottom, the very end of the death tunnel. And she's using these rods. And typically when you use them, you're going to ask yes or no questions, cross for yes or push out for no. And so they were kind of following along these guidelines. But she was asking different questions. She asked a couple that weren't. She kept messing up and saying, like, what is your name, or how did that make you feel? And it's like, well, it can't answer what using the rods, right? And she's like, I'm sorry, you're probably getting frustrated. And then when we listen back to our audio, because we recorded all this on digital voice recorder, and when we listen back, and she's like, she apologizes. She's like, I'm probably confusing you. And you hear this male voice come through that just says, whatever. And I remember hearing it, and I remember just laughing because you could tell he was frustrated.
Yeah.
Well, because, so with rods, what you want to do is ask yes or no questions. Mm-hmm. So what we do generally is have them cross for yes or spread them apart for no. And if you ask questions like, what's your name? You're not going to get anything from that.
No, you're not.
I mean, sometimes what we've done is we've said, okay, bounce the rods back and forth against each other, like tap the rods together, and we'll say the alphabet. And when we get to your letter, tap them.
Right.
And so we've found names by doing that.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I have never gotten a random name. Like, it's never been a bunch of random letters.
Right.
It is always
spelt out a name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so asking questions like that really isn't going to work.
No, it's not. Well, and there were a few times, well, actually quite a bit, where her rods kept pointing over to me for some reason. They'd ask a question, instead of it going yes or no, one of the rods would swing over and point at me. And it kept doing that. She kept having to like shake them out and reset them and start again. And it kept doing it. And so finally she goes, do you want to talk to her? Do you want her to use these? Would you like to talk to her? And so when we were listening back to our digital, we got a male voice.
Woman's voice.
Was it woman?
It was a woman's voice.
I thought it was a male.
No, it was a woman's voice.
And it said, yes. We got,
how cool.
Yes. But I mean, we didn't hear it with our own ears
right
at that time. So she just kind of proceeded and did it herself. So, but yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so needless to say, when we got back home from Kentucky, I ordered me a pair of dowsing rods.
I bet you did.
She sure did. And we had another funny EVP up on 5. Jamie was kind of doing a Facebook Live, and I was sitting down by myself, and I had a flashlight in front of me, right?
Like, were you in a room by yourself?
No, it was out in the open area.
Oh, okay.
And so I was just sitting there, and I was like, can you move the flashlight for me? Right? And you get this voice, no.
That's awesome.
Downright no.
No.
Like, I'm not going to do that.
Not going to happen.
I'm not your puppet.
Yeah, yep. Exactly.
And so, like, it's funny, right? Because you're like, because you watch these, you watch the ghost hunting shows and stuff like that, right? And they're like, hey, can you move this? And they're like, sure, I'm going to just move that for you. And it's like, that's really cool. Let me try that. Nope.
That's a rarity, honestly.
Again, yeah. Seeing, like, I honestly think, like, I mean, hearing disembodied voices, having seen apparitions and stuff like that, right? Like, the thing that I haven't had a chance to see is objects move.
I have.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's like the unexplained, something being thrown through the room, or, a ball rolling on the ground, or anything that's not explainable, through natural causes. It would be something really neat to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think our best EVP that we got back in 2017 at Waverly.
Yeah.
So we were up
on 5.
And we were by the nurse's station.
About halfway to room 502.
Yeah.
We wanted to go into 502, but that room always had people in it investigating. And us being so new to everything, we didn't feel like, hey, can we come sit down and join you?
Yeah. So we kind of were off on our own a little ways down from 502. And Josh was just kind of leaning up against the wall with a digital.
Yeah, I
And
was just waiting.
of course, I was doing a Facebook Live. So when we listen back to the audio, you can kind of hear me in the background doing the Facebook Live. Okay, so we know that's me. And he's just sitting there by himself. Okay, and the closest people are like halfway, further down, about halfway from where we're at. And they're in 502.
Mm-hmm.
And we get this woman's voice on the digital when we reviewed it. And I think we reviewed it that night in the hotel when we got to our ghetto hotel.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we actually got through it all that night. I can't remember. Probably not.
Not all of it. We just listened to the first.
We listened to some of it, yeah.
Yeah, and this is one that we got. But she says it's a woman's voice. And there was nobody else near Josh. And you can hear me talking on Facebook Live in the background. But this woman says, I love the way you love each other. And it's very clear.
Oh,
It's a whisper.
Uh-huh.
But she's like, I love the way you love each other. And then there's another part where there's another line and I don't really hear the first, I don't understand what the first couple words are, but there's a couple words where it sounds like she says turning into, and then there's like a couple more words. And that second line, we don't have all of it.
Don't you wish you could just amp it up and be able to hear it all?
And we've listened to it so many times.
Yeah.
So many times.
But that first line is very clear.
It is.
That is so cool.
And
Yeah.
do you want to hear it?
Yes.
100%.
Which makes it really hard for us to try and do a session.
Yeah, you hear, I love the way you love each other, and then turning into, and then
It sounds like she says, I love it, the way you love each other. And then something turning into something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But you can hear me in the background talking on Facebook Live.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Isn't that neat?
That's so neat. So play it back if you want to hear it again. But that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the best, still to this day, it's probably the best EVP we've ever caught.
I would say that's accurate. I think it's really special just because one, it was our first investigation. It was our first really wow.
And can you imagine you would have missed that if you went into room 502?
Yeah. That's true.
Exactly.
But because we were kind of off by ourselves, down a ways from everybody else. And there was, I think, like 2 or 3 other people in 502.
Yeah.
But we were down a little ways from them, but there was nobody else near us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And
that would have
it
been
was so cool.
So there's two things that's interesting, right? That would have been roughly the spot that the nurse jumped and killed herself. It's also close to 502, where the nurse hung herself. So
or was hung.
So you got to wonder, was it one of those nurses?
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Well, was it Nurse Mary? I mean, so say she was pregnant by one of the surgeons there, okay? And say he did botch the abortion and she died.
Yeah.
And then they just staged it. I mean, think about this. She's a young woman. She's not married. She's pregnant.
She thought
she's in despair.
Yeah.
And he rejects her, wants to abort the baby. So maybe, seeing how Josh and I were together, maybe she's like, I love the way you love each other. Because maybe that's
something that she didn't have.
Something she didn't have, but wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, when I had first heard it, that's the first thing that came into my mind. But, I mean, who knows?
I would love to hear that second sentence.
I know.
We've been listening to it, every so often when it comes up, we play it. And we'll listen to it a few times over and over, trying to figure out what that second line is in there. And we still haven't been able to do it.
No, that's hard.
Yeah.
It's really tough. So we did get one EVP, though, that was a male. And I can't remember what floor it was on, but he says Nurse Mary.
5.
Was it on 5?
Everything happens on 5.
Yeah, it was.
5 for us was really active.
It was really
first
active.
year.
And it was interesting, too, right? Because we were on the children's side, right? And it was just after she had talked to Dustin Perry, and we were just doing this little EVP session. and it's really quiet. And that's why we don't ever play it for anybody. But you hear this guy yelling,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just Nurse Mary.
Oh, wow.
Nurse Mary. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So did you guys have any other experiences there?
The first time we went?
Yeah.
No, I think that's pretty much it.
That was pretty much it. It was kind of a tough night because we always try to find a place that we can kind of
be away from everybody else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
it
was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of people kind of playing around in the building.
Especially in the beginning of the night. You had a lot of younger people, those, hey, I've been on a ghost hunt people. They just go for that reason. They usually clear out early, but in the beginning of the night, they were running around, hiding around corners, jumping out, boo at each other, and, just playing games and stuff, treating it like kind of a fun house.
There were 100 people
Yeah, it was
Holy cow.
just
in that
so,
building, which
yeah.
the building is massive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have 100 people roaming, it's just hard to find a quiet place to be.
It was, but in this, like I said, this is the true paranormal fans and those that really want to experience something and seriously investigate.
Right.
They're the ones that were left at the end of the night,
So how many people do you think were there by the end of the night?
25.
Oh,
if that.
And and we did talk to several people that were there. And I think this one lady had probably the coolest story
Mm-hmm.
of the night. So there's lots of showers in the facility, right? So
Yeah.
'cause-
There's a lot of people there that need
Yeah.
showers. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But this happened in the shower stall that's right there in 502.
no,
There's that little
Was
closet.
it 502?
Yes.
Okay. So she couldn't see into the shower stall, right? Because it was really dark. And so she stuck her hand in there and hit something solid.
Oh.
Like hair. She felt like hair, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
She thought she touched a person.
She thought an actual person was in there investigating.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Flashed the light in there.
Nobody's in there.
Empty.
No, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty
touched
cool.
a solid apparition.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a little freaky.
It would be a little freaky.
It'd be
For
cool, but
sure.
it'd be a little startling.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So,
So what happened the second time you guys went?
okay. So we, after that trip in 2017, we kind of made this kind of proposal to my dad's side of the family that, because I have some sisters that are into this, and my dad's into this, of course. And so we said, hey, we're thinking about going back. Who's in? Let's take a couple of years. Let's rent out Waverly. Let's go. And so we decided, okay, great. We're going to do it. And we sure did. In
We did.
2019, in April of 2019, we made the drive
Yep.
back to Louisville, Kentucky. And we had a private overnight there. And there were only 6 of us.
Oh, how cool. That huge place.
Yeah.
That huge place. There were 6 of
And
us.
we spread out.
And we spread out. Oh, we spread out.
That's good.
So that was a very interesting night. So that one was it had a different feel.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time we went there, it felt very ominous, very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
The second time felt like home.
I felt like coming home.
Weird.
Yeah.
Mhm. In fact, that's one of the first things I said when we went up the stairs. So there's used to be the laundry area,
Yeah.
and it's now like a gift shop,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And that was our home base. And so we left our equipment down there and just took what we wanted to use, a few pieces of equipment. And when we reached the top of the stairs and into the actual building,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm home. And those were the words out of my mouth. I'm home. So it was like coming home.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. It had such a different vibe
It
for
did.
us.
Yeah.
That night was interesting. So we were up on 4.
Mhm.
And we were walking back. We were going to meet everybody and switch floors. And I had seen a shadow ball in the dark move and dart into a room. It just went shoom,
Was it like on the ground or
in the air,
how high up in the air?
5 feet ish.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it just goes darting into a room. And I'm like, hey, there was I saw something go into that room. And just before I say that, I'm walking down the hallway with 2 video cameras on.
You're prepared this time.
I'm prepared,
He's
right?
got one in each
I
hand.
got one in each hand, right? And in the one on my left hand, I get an EVP that says murderer.
Ew. Uh-huh.
And the right one doesn't pick that up.
Even though they're
God,
like a
that's
foot
so
apart.
Crazy.
Yeah. But the right one, as I walk down 2 more feet and turn into this room, I get Utah's pretty freaking cold.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We were talking about, at the time, Josh and I were talking about, it got cold.
The air got cold.
The air got very cold. Like noticeably, there was a temperature drop.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh was mentioning it. And that's when the EVP come through that Utah's pretty freaking cold.
That is crazy.
It's so random.
Totally random, which tells you that this is intelligent.
Absolutely. 100%.
But the recorder on my left didn't pick it up.
Didn't pick it up.
God, that's crazy.
And they're
I
like
know.
a foot apart. So
Yeah.
it's crazy how that works. It really
That's why
is.
sometimes I like to leave a recorder in a room all by itself.
We did that too.
On that same floor.
Yeah.
So we went and we left it in this room it was a surgical room.
Mm-hmm.
And we set up a video camera on a tripod in the middle of the floor. We put a digital down beside it. So this particular room, a few years back, there was another team that went in. I don't know if they were a team or if they were just people that went in there and on a tour or whatever.
No, it was a private. So
Was it a
we'll
private?
call them a team.
Okay, so we'll say they're a team. And they were on a private investigation there. They went into this surgical room. And I don't know if they were like...
They were provoking.
They were they were doing some sort of provoking, like, show us what you got, blah, blah, blah. The door slammed shut and locked them in the room. They couldn't get it open. They called for help.
They called the fire department showed up.
The fire department had to show up to get them out.
Wow.
So now, the way the room is now, they have like this big metal pipe that sits in that door to block it open, so that if it tries to slam shut, that pipe's going to stop it from completely closing you off.
But when the fire department showed up,
They opened it just fine. It opened right up.
it just opened.
Right up.
Oh, my word.
Anyways, we were up in this surgical room. We put down the camera on the tripod. We put down a digital, and we walk away. We leave it there,
Uh-huh.
and we continue out the door, and we go to the left, and we're kind of going down the hall and around, and we're going clear the other end. So on our digital, on the audio, you can hear us as we get further and further, and pretty soon you can't hear us. Okay. You can't hear anything. It's quiet. You kind of hear a train in the background, and then you hear what sounds like shuffling around the camera. Well, the camera had went out. Like it stopped working.
After how long?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. I don't think it was very long. A few minutes, for us to walk away.
The light went out is what happened.
So you can't see nothing.
So the camera's still on.
Camera's
It's
still-
just
But you
the
can't
lights.
see nothing.
The lights off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we also have, so when I was listening to audio, I was listening to it off the digital recorder
Okay.
and not the camera. So you hear what sounds like shuffling around it.
Uh-huh.
Like, when doctors go in for surgery and they wear those booties over their
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like someone wearing booties kind of shuffling around it, like they're inspecting it, like checking it out, like, what's this?
Uh-huh.
Right? So we hear that quite a bit. And then for a long time, it goes quiet. And, I'm sitting at the table listening to this, and I'm like almost half asleep because it's a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of close my eyes and I'm kind of concentrating. And all of a sudden, I hear through my headphones a woman scream, "Help me." Like she screams, "Help me."
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
And I'm like, like
That jolts you awake.
the hair, goosebumps.
All of it.
And I got so excited. It freaked me out,
Right.
but I was so excited. And so I'm rewinding. I'm like, listen to this. And so we listened to it quite a few times, actually.
Yeah.
And from the sound of it, she's down a little way. She's not.
No, can you play it?
Oh,
I don't have it.
Oh,
I have it right offhand.
okay.
It's in some uncut stuff.
Okay.
We'll have to see if we can fish out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt then.
Oh, no, that's fine. But when you hear her scream, it sounds like she's down a little way. So it doesn't sound like she's in that surgical room. It sounds like she's down a few doors. Well, down a few doors, didn't we find out that it was the electroshock?
No, electroshots on one.
Or that was for tuberculosis of the brain.
That's tuberculosis of the brain.
They housed him kind of down that
on
way.
surgical, on 4.
So,
Or,
yeah.
and there's another possibility to that too, though, right? That could be someone from the geriatric center as well. From Woodhaven.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So it could be anything. So what's interesting about that EVP, though, is we were on the opposite end of 4.
Way
all
down.
the way at the far end of 4.
We didn't hear it.
We didn't hear it.
Not
But
with our own ears.
Yeah.
But the video recorder that I had in my hand
Picked it
picked
up.
it up.
Really?
Mhm.
So we got the same EVP at the same time. 600 feet plus,
Away.
1,000 feet plus away. We were on the
Mhm.
far end of the Batwing.
That is incredible. I've never heard that.
I haven't either. It's
What do you mean you never heard it?
no, I've never heard of that happening
Oh.
before.
Yeah. So that makes me wonder if it was like somewhere in the middle
Yeah,
and it was
Possibly.
loud enough to be
pick
able
up
to
on
pick on
both.
both sides.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
just echoes really well. Like that. There's a lot of echo in that
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
But the thing is, nobody else had heard anything. Because after I reviewed it, I had texted my sister and I was like, do you ever recall? And, they had audio, digital audio and all that going. And
Mhm.
she's like, we didn't get nothing.
Hmm.
I don't think they walked away with
Nothing.
anything.
We had 3 sets of digitals running,
Mm-hmm.
3 cameras running. We had equipment set up. So somebody else, if they would have been
Nobody else picked it up.
yeah, nobody else would have picked. Nobody else picked it up.
But later that night, we all went up to 5 towards the end of the night.
And that's when things got crazy.
So we're all up there, and there's 6 of us.
Yep.
And Josh takes my brother and his wife and kind of goes down one way on 5, a little ways. And I have my dad and my sister, and we're kind of on the other end of 5. And while we can still hear, Josh and Stacy and Karina down there, we were kind of doing our own thing. And my sister, she brought a little Simon Says thing where you hit the things, hoping that, maybe one of the kids would want to kind of try it out and stuff. We had no luck there.
No.
But she started talking about Nurse Mary. She's like, Nurse Mary, I heard what had happened to you, and I am so sorry. And just as she's saying this, you get this male voice, and he is mad. And he goes, I want to strangle her. Ugh. Yeah, it gets better.
Want to hear it?
Yes.
And we are heading towards room 502.
It gets better. So down where Josh and Stacy and Karina are, he's sitting there talking to Stacy and Karina. And I forget what you were asking.
I was asking where he was standing. I was
Yeah.
asking because I had dowsing rods out and Stacy's recording it, filming it, so we get some evidence of it, right? And I was like, point to where you're standing, and it pointed right between Stacy and Karina. So I'm like, are you standing, behind Stacy and Karina?
Well, you said behind Stacy or
Behind-
Karina.
yeah.
I think.
And so the rods answered, of course. But then we picked up an EVP.
Yeah, but what's interesting about the EVP, it's the same voice, the same man.
Oh.
And it wasn't off of the crazy part. It wasn't on our digital. It was on Jamey's digital across 5.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and he says, I think she's a prostitute.
Same male.
Same male voice.
Let's hear it.
Is there someone standing behind Stacy and Karina? Are they in the doorway?
Oh, there's more.
That was me afterwards.
No. I hear you, but there's something under that.
Well, then let's take one more listen then.
There's a lot of background noise that I don't remember being there before.
I increased
amped
the volume up so you could hear it better.
Gotcha.
That's why it's
It seems a lot more distorted.
a little more distorted just because of that.
Yeah.
it is a quieter EVP,
Mhm.
and so it's tougher to hear.
Which most EVPs are very quiet.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there someone standing behind Stacy and Karina? Are they in the doorway?
There's more under your voice.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
can hear
heard
it.
that too.
I mean, there's
It's
no way
mumbling, but I can't understand
there's
it.
no way
Yeah.
you're going to be able to understand
No.
it. But he went on.
Yeah. Yeah, he went on.
Yeah, he went on.
But you can see it's kind of the same voice.
It
That's
is the
cool.
same voice.
Yeah. And so,
So our theory a little bit is that this was this surgeon who was probably very arrogant, narcissistic.
The murderer.
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I think by talking about Nurse Mary, he came through. I want to strangle her. And I think, he continued on. I think she's a prostitute,
Yeah.
because they're very angry.
Very angry.
Well, if you can imagine, like you're trying to get away with something and there's a story out about it.
People are
And-
talking about it.
And he's going to get mad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely,
Yeah.
he wasn't happy.
But most of the night was actually pretty
Quiet.
quiet.
Mhm.
It was,
Well, we walked away with some good stuff.
yeah,
It wasn't, nonstop. Well, we did go in the morgue, though.
we did. And I laid down on the tray.
I'd
Yeah.
totally do that.
Yeah, bottom tray.
How did that feel?
Fine. There's a little bit of like, I don't want to say ominous nature to it, but like humbling in a sense, like,
Mhm.
because you're laying somewhere where a body's laying, like
Mhm.
people have lain before.
Yeah.
Not a lot of autopsies, like we said before, were performed in that morgue, but they were, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
And so there's some of that surrealness to it. But I didn't feel any presences, didn't get touched, no EVPs in there. I took a digital recorder in there.
Yeah. So, and a lot of times when you go and investigate, when you feel, you can feel at the beginning generally how it's going to go. Like
Yeah.
you can feel like if it is that kind of scary feeling when you first enter, it's probably going to be a night of EVPs and of things happening, right?
Yeah.
Odds are. And then when you go and you just feel like peaceful, a lot of the times you're not going to get very much.
It's pretty quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets pretty quiet. And obviously that's not how it always works, but generally that's what you can go off of.
Yeah. Although interesting enough, Stacy got goosed
Oh, that's
really?
right. He
On
did
one.
down on floor one.
on floor one. He got his butt pinched.
I think, well, the first time they hit his elbow.
Yeah.
I think they hit it a second time. I think they're trying to get his attention. This was his first. Waverly in 2019.
Man, how
was
would that be to be your
his first?
that place be your first?
I know.
Yeah,
Rude.
was his first investigation. So I think they were trying to get his attention because he said he felt like a tug or a tap on his elbow,
Uh-huh.
and he didn't really think anything of it. Right?
Well, you generally don't because
Mm-mm.
you write it off as something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said a little while later, it was a lot harder, and it got his attention then. And I said, yeah, something was definitely trying to get you to take notice. For
Yeah.
sure.
And that was on the first floor,
That was on floor one.
kind of by the electroshock therapy, which is right by the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, we did leave a digital recorder running in there. And I can't remember, did we leave a camera running in there?
We did. The camera got nothing.
Yeah, the camera got nothing. We did get some interesting audio, not in like EVPs, but there were reports of like rocks being thrown up against the inside of a
There's an elevator in the morgue where they would bring the bodies up and down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, so there was this tink, tink, tink.
Sometimes it wasn't a tink though. Sometimes it was a bang.
Oh, wow.
That sounded like a bigger rock.
Mm-hmm.
So we did get quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But beyond that, in the morgue, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. So,
That's pretty interesting. How fun.
Yeah.
yep. I can't wait to go back for round 3.
I know.
Yeah, me either. Oh, I'll get there. One day I'll get there.
You'll get
Right?
there.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think it's funny because it's like it's on everybody's bucket list.
Oh yeah.
On a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that place is freaking huge.
It's so big.
and just so ominous looking, you
Yeah.
know? Like, so yeah. And there's enough stories that people have had some crazy things happen.
Yeah.
There's enough going around that
Oh yeah.
you know it's good.
So the craziest picture I've ever seen is from Waverly. It was from the security guard. I think it was the first time we were there. I was talking to the security guard. Just kind of talking about, have you seen anything type of deal, right? Because they're there all the time, whether
Right.
there's people there or not. They're
Right.
there all the time. And I was like, hey, have you've seen anything happen, right? And he's like, I haven't. He said, except for this one thing. He's like, so this guy went to the body chute alone, right? He went down and investigated the body chute alone.
Mhm.
And he said when he came up, he looked really weird, right? So he took a picture of this guy, right? And so, he had his normal pupils.
Mhm.
And then to the right of his irises, there was another set of pupils on each eye.
Ew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
See, I didn't see the picture.
It was.
I didn't go look. Josh came out and says, "You'll never believe this picture."
That's freaky.
That was
Yeah.
freaky.
Did he say anything about what happened to that guy who investigated there by himself?
That just other than that, and then said he was back to normal.
Weird.
Yeah, super weird. But Jamie, you found an incident that happened that I think Waverly just posted about, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So they posted this probably about 5 hours ago. Anyways, it says, we take the safety of our guests, volunteers, and staff very seriously. We would like to inform you of an incident that happened Wednesday evening. One of our employees thought he saw people in the building at about midnight that were not part of a private overnight investigation. He was encouraged to call 911 to ensure the safety of everyone involved. Upon arrival, police searched Waverly Hills Sanatorium and found nobody was there. Our security guard also searched and could not find anyone. Upon initial report, our employee was encouraged to quickly call the police rather than to investigate further. Well, it turns out it was a false alarm, and we were thankful to the police for taking the time to investigate. We also must wonder if it was the spirits trying to cause alarm. You never know what Waverly Hills has in store. So, yeah, they just posted that today. So that was pretty neat.
That's cool.
So cool.
So, because they have security cameras all around that property.
Yeah.
If you're caught trespassing, they will bring you up on charges, all of it. So never, ever go on that property because even when you think they're not going to know, they know.
There's
They
cameras.
already know. They already know. So,
Yeah, they've already been watching you.
mhm.
Like,
Well, and that's why they started doing the tours was so that people would stop
Yeah.
breaking into Waverly.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it does help. So like all of the tours, the private investigations, the public tours, all of that stuff, that does go to help one, keep the building running.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps for the restorations for their projects.
It does.
So when the one thing we didn't mention is when Tina and Charlie bought the property, there was a wrecking ball poised to go.
Yeah.
So they literally saved it from destruction, or this place would not be standing today.
Just before it got destroyed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we are grateful they did.
We are so grateful. So, and we will post, we can post our pictures, some of these EVPs. We'll post them up on our social media pages. And where can they find them?
So you can find us on Facebook at Cold Spot Paranormal Research, as well as Paranormal Peeps Podcast.
And you can find us on Instagram at coldspot_paranormal_research and on Twitter at CPR Paranormal. And like always, stay ghosty, my peeps. Thank you for listening to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. You can find us on social media at Twitter at CPR Paranormal, on Facebook at Paranormal Peeps Podcast and Cold Spot Paranormal Research. And you can find us on Instagram at coldspot_paranormal_research.